So the first question I got to jump in here, is what exactly is Shad doing over there the whole time?
Yeah, like what is his job? Honestly, I don't know. I mean, when I was sitting over there next to the board, I think the show was going perfectly fine. So I don't know if there's really any.
What is happening right now? Yeah. What magic is occurring?
I'm just trying to do some minor adjustments so that the show doesn't sound like butt.
Okay.
Yeah. Because everybody's gonna notice too. Yeah, all that hard work.
I like it.
Well, you'd be surprised. Hey, whenever we've had technical difficulties, we've got multiple people who've reached out to us and been like, "It sounded worse this week." So,
yeah,
I'm just trying to be a good boy.
Yeah, but that has been like major technical issues.
I don't know. It's all about nuance.
Yeah.
As soon as you get people up to a certain, it's like when somebody's palate is too complicated. When they've had too much good food and they can no longer eat trash food, right? Once we inculcate people with high quality audio, eventually the smallest thing, the grain of sand in your oyster is going to make a big impact. You've eaten oysters before.
Yeah.
Right?
It's going to be difficult for you to maintain this perfection.
I know. To think that, who knows, after years and years of this, we're just going to be so burnt out from constant 10 out of 10 podcasts every single week.
Perfection.
Yeah. People are going to wonder, when the golden ages were, and actually there was just one golden age, and it was the entire thing. Yeah, that's going to be the whole show.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Well, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
I like your attention to detail.
At the very least, he's looking busy. Yeah.
Well, it's because you guys have, Dylan's got terrible mic discipline, and he's always laughing right up on this thing.
Oh boy!
And so I got to be here just in case, so we don't get any peaks.
We don't.
Look, if you guys really want to do this, we can do this right now.
If I'm gonna have to break you guys up, no fighting.
Somebody had to do it eventually because I was gonna, passive aggressively make just adjustments. This is just the way that I'm getting my stress out, is I'm adjusting.
Okay.
I like
that high coffee anxiety that you got. You're friggin' zinned off coffee at
I'm
the moment.
not zinned off coffee. My tummy hurts, dude.
My little tummy.
A little tum-tum? You got a little tummy?
You're making assumptions about me just over and over again. You're saying I'm useless. You're saying I'm zinned.
I didn't say you were useless. I
don't really like the direction this is going.
Hey, Dad, can you leave for a second?
Yeah. We got to work some stuff out.
We got to work some stuff out.
We'll try this.
Air.
We'll try this again later. Goodness.
When you guys lived at home, everything was always pleasant and you always got along.
Yeah.
And then ever since you went out and you got woke at college.
Yes, it all changed. Yeah, because we've always been so nice to one another.
That's right.
Incredibly, connected. Guys, we got Zachariah Strehle.
You're doing Zachariah.
Zacchaeus Strehle.
Yeah.
Father of two beautiful boys.
A less beautiful boy.
And a
beautiful young lady.
Yeah. He's in town. Ironically, it all worked out. Mom was in town for Mother's Day. You're in town near Father's Day. The episode will be coming out that week.
Yeah.
So it all just sort of, it's like God has blessed this podcast.
Well, I'm really looking forward to whatever gifts you're going to bestow on me for Father's Day.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to go over what yours is?
Go over it?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna get. Why don't actually? I don't. Mine's coming in the mail.
Oh,
Dylan's has arrived.
There's a
so
thing,
if you want to get up and go grab it, we can do this on air.
I wasn't really making it about that. It was. That was a joke.
Well, you did bring it up.
I did.
To say.
Okay, well,
in every joke, there's a little bit of truth.
I brought it up because I thought the answer was going to be,
That's it. I'm canceling the Soda Stream.
Jeez. Already got one of those.
Yeah.
Those espresso pods are not going to get in the mail, dude. They're staying at the warehouse.
Okay, speaking of Soda Stream, I've been drinking a lot of
carbonated water.
Yeah. Because it's pretty cheap, but
it's surprisingly cheap.
When you run the math, a Soda Stream is infinitely cheaper. And now my wife is just bothering me constantly. Every time I buy some more, she's like,
you guys have one, right?
Yeah, we got one. I got one for Christmas for your mom, and then she's like, I'm never going to use this thing. And then yet again, she said, "This is brilliant. This is the best." I love
yet again, are you saying it's usual that you're like you give her a pitch on something and it turns out you were correct,
right? Or just in general decisions that are made.
So how often do you have to replace the CO2 then? If you're like making 2 or 3 bottles a day.
Well, I don't know if we're doing 2 or 3
1 or 2 bottles. A bottle.
Yeah, I don't know how often it's being used, to be honest with you. But we got it at Christmas, and we just replaced it maybe 2 weeks, maybe a week or 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So 6 months or et cetera.
Yeah, it lasts plenty of time. And your sister's using it, and your brother's using it, so...
Gotta get those sparkles. Gotta get those bubblies.
Yeah.
I remember there was that brief period. You remember, like in the early 2000s, where people thought the thing about soda that was unhealthy is the CO2.
Was that a thing?
Yeah, it was like a crunchy mom thing to say.
Yeah, I
about
think
soda.
I think the CO2, the little bubbles turned into fat or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, that's why actually, even though they have the right sugar in Mexico, everybody's fat still.
Yeah.
You know, it's the highest rising rate of obesity in the world, like second to the United States of America, primarily because they don't have like any good drinking water, so everybody just drinks Coke just constantly, right? I think it's the CO2. They actually have doctors down there. I was reading about this the other day. They have doctors down there. They're sort of like witch doctors sort of situation, like in the way that they used to be historically, where you'd go and you'd say, hey, I have a problem. Do you have a solution? And they'd be like, oh, let me look at my wall of herbs. Instead, they're like, let me look at my wall of Cokes. They like give soda to people.
Just a different type.
Yeah, ailments.
All of it in a bag. You know,
Yes.
this is
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, my question would be then, like, if they're already going to be most likely dehydrated, I think it could probably do a lot of good for them to, get some additional soda, some additional liquids. I don't
think
if that's the
is that
primary
how
issue.
soda works. Do you know?
I don't think so. I don't think there's a lot of...
I think about this often. It's like, well, so like pirates would literally, pour alcohol into dirty water.
Yeah.
And just drink that, right? This is carbonated water with syrup in it.
Yeah.
So
no, it's not carbonated water with syrup in it. It's syrup with carbonation in it. No way.
There's got to be...
There's water.
There's water.
Josh, you back me up on this.
There's
dude.
a high water content.
You think it's literally carbonated syrup, dude? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure almost all beverages, I mean, I don't know what exception.
Have a base of
milk,
water, yeah.
Milk is milk.
Milk
But
is milk.
Soda, beer. What other things are there to
Coffee?
drink?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that
it's all water.
I'm sure that you could actually probably get more of a hydration out of a light beer than you could out of a Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah.
That's not crazy.
agree.
That's not crazy.
Especially in Mexico.
Josh, what do we got?
Well, I was actually looking up how much water is in milk.
Oh.
87% water.
See?
Yeah,
Wow,
milk is
I was
87%
even wrong. I was
water.
wrong.
All drinkable
Everything.
liquids.
I guess cows are slacking.
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah, what percent of a Coca-Cola is water? So I used to, I worked in a fast food restaurant, and what we would get for soda is concentrated syrup.
Yeah, you get it's a
And then it
bag in a box.
a
and
bag
it's
in a
all
box,
syrup.
and then it would shoot through the system, and
Yeah.
then you would get
Add
Well, what
the
do you think they're
carbonated
adding
water.
to it?
carbonated water.
Yeah.
But the thing is it's not like hydration levels of carbonated water.
All I'm going to say
Water.
is any
It's
amount
water.
of water is better than no amount of water, right?
89% water.
A little bit more than milk.
I guess I was off on that then.
Yeah, there you go.
89% water.
There you go. So all I'm going to say is I think there's a world in which you could subsist off of Coca-Colas, right? And I think that world might
people
be Mexico.
try. I think people try that.
So I think that if I was a shaman and I was, I diagnosed somebody with dehydration, give them some soda. Obviously, they don't want to drink water. Give them a little something.
The wild thing about that, though, is, if I don't drink like a cup of water or two, over the course of a day, by the evening I have a headache. Life sucks. But there's people, and I get so mad about this. There's this genre of like white guy who wants to be a black guy who's just running around in the Midwest. They've got like the close cut hair, they've got the flat brim, the baggy shorts. They subsist almost entirely off of Mountain Dew and chips, and they're skinny as hell. And I don't understand it.
Or like rock stars or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
Like
There's
energy
just
drinks.
nothing but energy drinks or whatever. And you're watching this guy walk around, and you're like, how do you do this?
Yeah.
What-
I mean, I imagine you grew up with some of those.
Oh,
where you
we
were at.
definitely had a few of those.
Had a few of those. Yeah. And well, and that,
tribal marking hats, the do-rag.
there you go.
Do-rag.
Yeah, they got the just.
But I don't think it's
crazy.
It's not a healthy physique we're talking about here.
It's true. Well, I was just listening to something about this the other day. It's like that is the archetypal male who will become Grinch body, right? Like you transition into very fat belly and very skinny arms. Like that's just the way it all sort of evolved.
Yeah.
So
seems right.
they might be skinny,
But I always get the impression they can still kick my ass. It's like this guy has.
well, Shad, you're also Shad,
I
so
know.
that list is a long
It's
list.
just annoying. It's frustrating because you're like, this guy hasn't eaten a carrot since 2008, and I, have to I can't eat fried food or I get a tummy ache. Right? It's like, how the hell do you do this?
Yes, and he could kick your ass regardless.
Yeah.
So
100 years ago, you'd have died at a young age.
and he would have just kept going.
That's right.
Yeah. In fact, he would have been a king, right?
I'm
most likely. Yeah.
Yes.
I've just got surf body. I'm nothing but a peasant. Truly,
it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Well, I mean,
buddy.
hey, what are you gonna do?
Genetics.
Yeah. Thankfully,
They're
you're
rough.
living in a time where instead of working in the field, you get to work in the podcast mines.
Yeah.
And
I'm just a humble podcast producer.
yeah, and you make about as much as you would, and also it's so much more fulfilling.
So much more fulfilling
Yeah. Think
Than
how
working
happy
the
you are
land.
all.
Yeah.
a bunch of green lines. For,
Think about how happy we all are.
Yeah.
Us all three of us.
I know.
It's
Yeah.
just a.
I was thinking
bunch of
if you were
joy.
watching this right now, you probably wouldn't even think that we were related when you look at all of us, right? You're like, I don't know. It seems.
You think so?
No, I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that the widow's peak is what does it.
Shad doesn't have one.
Oh, I do. Just not visible. Everybody saw it last week. I was actually thinking today. I was walking and I was, running over myself, and I was like, "What if I just
a quick diagnostic test.
did a diagnostic test? What if I just grew it up, the hair? What would happen?
Are you gonna go for the ponytail?
Yeah,
Or
are you going to be like a
what are we
Gary
gonna do?
Gygax situation?
Yeah. What if I Gary Gygaxed it?
I think you should definitely give that a try.
Yeah, give it a try.
I got to figure out a way to get through the
Yeah.
awkward stage. I work at home, so it's not
yeah,
that
well,
bad.
I mean, that would be years, but
I don't know that you would get through that stage.
yeah.
Eat
So
a lot
it'd
of
be tough.
Eat a lot of collagen,
Sure.
stuff that makes your hair grow.
Absolutely. And maybe do the comb over. Like just
Yeah.
grow it and then just flop that whole thing
Flop
over.
it over.
Yeah.
You
I think
know?
you should start with a fake ponytail maybe out of the back of your hat and just see
There
how
you
you
go.
like
Yeah,
it. There's
see
a lot
how
of
see
maintenance.
what the
in-
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it back. I don't know that it was ever a thing that was
Yeah.
cool, but you
I could probably
make it
find a deadhead and buy his ponytail for $25 off him.
cool. Easy.
Just gotta spray it for lice. And
Yeah, you're good to go.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
what's the market for a rat tail nowadays?
the big thing will be, the amount of time you will lose in shower time, right? Like your day will be, half of it will be washing all of that hair.
Dude,
in the
actually, no, it's the
shower.
opposite.
You say so?
Yeah, you're not supposed to wash your hair the longer it gets.
Really?
You wash it less likely. That's why. I mean,
Are you going to
you have a
Talking
wife.
about, like
I do.
dreadlocks.
Women
or-
shower. Yeah, women shower at a totally different.
Well, yeah, because
amount.
sometimes they wash their hair, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and then you're gonna have to get into the whole there's a dry shampoo that exists,
That's true.
and you're gonna have to use that.
Yeah.
You probably don't use that.
Oh, and
Currently.
then get it long enough. Cornrows.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So we were talking about white guys that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Do it,
it's
buddy.
that or
Yeah.
dreadlocks. I think that I think you'd look great with this, sort of a nest on your head.
Did you ever go through a dreadlock phase? Because that was the deal back then.
No, I don't think that
You were
was
like
the
listening
deal.
to 311 and
that was
growing those dreadlocks out.
we listened to some 311. I don't remember anybody that I know that was into dreadlocks. That was not a
Really?
thing.
Well, so you were a
no.
young adult during like the Rage Against the Machine's initial boom.
Yeah, I do remember when
Because he
the
had
Rage came
he
out.
had dreadlocks for a time.
Yeah,
Does
but-
he
yeah.
still?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know
not
what,
sure.
Is
what
it
he's up to.
What's his name? Durst?
I used to. No,
is
that's
No.
Fred Durst. You're talking. That's Limp Bizkit, the king. He's
yeah.
breaking stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used
What's
to.
his name? Look it up for
I used
us.
to know his name off the top of my head.
Yeah, lead singer.
He's still
keep
doing
try-
things.
I keep
Yeah?
want to say Jason Momoa.
I don't know why.
yeah.
No, yeah, he did great on that Run the Jewel song. He's
Yeah.
still doing good stuff.
No, he did his original stuff, and it's bad.
Oh,
What is it?
really?
It's, his name is actually Zach
Zach De La Rocha.
How do I not?
De La Rocha.
Yeah.
How did I not remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. Well, your Zach cred has completely been taken away.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
going full
so,
Zachariah.
So he's just got kind of a fro.
Yeah.
I thought he had dreads for a time.
I think
though.
he did when he was back in the day. He
Yeah.
did have the chunky hair.
Yeah, the chunky hair, as it is called,
crunchy
colloquials.
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we
We got a photo.
Oh, we got it. It's
Oh,
going.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Great look.
You know, I've actually never been close to up to a guy with dreads. Well, how do they smell? I'm sure
I've
you
not smelt them. I've never
Really?
walked up and said, "May I smell?" your
Excuse
head?"
me, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir and or ma'am.
May I partake in your
Yeah.
luscious locks?
Sure, it's fine.
Yeah. It's funny to me that there's a whole hairstyle dedicated to not washing your hair.
Well, no, the problem is, from what I understand, it actually takes a significant amount of maintenance because you put oils in it and do a whole bunch of stuff with that. So, I don't
See,
know.
yeah, it's supposed to be less work. That's
Yeah.
what's cool
Yeah.
about it. But if it's more work, why?
Yeah.
do you have to pray to Jah every time?
Yes.
What happened to those guys, the Rastas?
Maybe that's what you should do.
Yeah,
You should be a
you got to
Rasta.
do a full genre change.
yeah,
Shadrach Strehle has
yes.
got to become a
Not
Rasta,
just
a
the
Rastafarian.
Escape
Babylon.
Butty boy. No, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, if you're going to go halfway, why not go the full?
Don't go halfway.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
That's
don't
not
go
cool.
the dreads. Yeah, I mean, if our dad has imparted anything on us, when it comes to his lessons taught to us throughout the years,
I
that's
can't wait to hear.
put all of your effort into what you do.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And if that's growing out a ponytail or making dreadlocks, really just go the full.
You're all
full
in,
set.
buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I can just
100%
keep wearing a hat. And people are like, "What's going on down there or up there?" And eventually it'll be like, "It's a
Reveal,
Yeah,
reveal.
It's a ponytail. You're gonna unfurl.
I
it,
do
swing
in a
your head around.
dramatic fashion
and open a
Just-
comic shop."
Yeah,
No. You're gonna just wake up one morning and a guy's gonna knock on your door and hand you a deed to one.
Yeah.
right? You're gonna be like, "Oh, okay." Yeah.
You've been chosen.
You have entered our fraternity.
Beautiful. Yes.
I still actually,
wake up with a scrunchie under your bed.
Yeah.
Under your
This
pillow.
is a question for both of you. How cool would the secret society have to be for you to forsake your family to go join it? Where like if someone
there is a level of coolness on that.
yeah, like, so if
dude,
somebody
how do you measure that level?
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
tough. Like, well, so it's like if a man with white hair walked up to me and said, "We are an ancient society of demon hunters.
Yeah.
You have shown to have angel blood. Will you come join our society?" I would be like, "Hell yeah, dude! Dropping everything. That's what I am." And then I go, and it turns out he's just got a van, and he's high off meth, but
I mean, sometimes people do that, and they do it just to be a groupie.
That's true.
People, they forsake their whole lives to go like everywhere Metallica goes.
I think 311. If they asked me to be,
they gave you a call, Zach. We need you,
We've been
man.
watching you for some time.
that's all it takes.
Yeah, I think you got what it takes. No, yeah, I think there's a level on it. Particularly, it would be an ancient society of people that fight either demons or aliens. I think is
really?
what it would take from
For me, it would be werewolves. If they're like, we kill werewolves, I'd be like, I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
there.
very
That'd be hard.
anti-werewolf.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to. I mean, how could you turn that down? And then if you turned it down, you would just forever.
You would know.
You would just be thinking, I just blew it.
Yeah.
I had my opportunity.
Yeah.
Every time a wolf howled, you'd be like, that could have been me.
Yeah. Oh goodness. No, yeah, I don't know. That is strange to think about. I often think about that with like vampirism and stuff like that.
Okay,
Like,
what's going on?
I don't know. It's just like if I ever got bitten by a vampy,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a big vamp boy, like bit me and stuff, and I became a vampire.
And you're like, oh no, please don't.
Oh, please stop. No, I don't want that. It tickles. Please. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, if that was to happen, like, that would be the saddest part, just like completely having to disconnect from society.
I'm wondering what's going on with you guys where you often think about things like vampires and Shad. You'd mentioned that you were thinking today about growing your hair out. That's pretty good.
Which is in the same vein as thinking about vampirism,
That's
right?
true.
It's the same bucket.
Actually forget about it, all right? This ponytail is not going to be a nerd ponytail. This ponytail is going to be like Matrix / Blade / like the 2000s
Yes.
action movie ponytail.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to be wearing nothing but leather and shades,
Oh, that changes everything.
and say right on a lot.
Yeah. You could totally go hacker with that, dude.
Dude,
You could be a full-on
if
hacker.
I hacked the mainframe.
Can't do it without the ponytail.
Exactly. You have to
dude.
wait
Yeah.
until you grow that out.
Dude, exactly.
Imagine the sheer amount of serotonin that would pump into your body when you said "I'm in" for the first time,
Yeah.
dude. Like I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine.
They'd be like, "Hot shot, where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm in."
Ooh. My entire life leading up to this moment.
Yeah.
Oh goodness,
Yeah.
guys, this it's called Monomaniacs. We talk about monomaniacal obsessions. That's what we do. We bring somebody on, we talk about them. And I mean, we're talking about a lot of them right now. We've already talked about ponytails, growing the hair out, vamps. Zachariah Strehle,
Yeah.
Z-Man. What is your monomaniacal obsession of the week? We're sliding further and further into the early 2000s. The late 90s are just like
Z-Man.
Z-Man. Well, then we got to start drinking Zima.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
You
I
can
don't think you can get those.
No, you can now.
Those are available.
It's the nostalgia alcohol thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like how they brought Surge back.
Yeah,
You know, it's like
So you have to order it online. It's not.
no,
you're not
you
running
can
down
get
to this-
Zima at the gas station down the
What?
street.
No way.
Yeah,
That's not.
Luke and DJ got some.
We're gonna let's drink Zima on the Patreon, dude. That's
Yeah.
what we do.
I'll go pick some.
Yeah, go pick up some
Perfect.
Zima. Yeah, we'll make that happen. Anyway, so back to what is at hand.
Yeah. So it's a little paradoxical because I'm thinking about it, and so I know a lot of people all of a sudden that are getting ready to retire,
Yeah,
and they're retiring and they're telling me about how they're purchasing all this I'm gonna build chairs in my shop. I'm gonna whittle wood and make a canoe and whatever they're gonna do. And so my thing is, I've been thinking about lately is I don't have
a thing.
Yeah. So so it's
hobby acquisition.
I need some help focusing on,
Do we want to, let's run through some of the classics then.
Okay.
All right, so, and then, give me your pros and cons or why it hasn't.
Okay. Why hasn't stuck?
Yeah, it hasn't stuck to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Guy who makes model train dioramas in his garage.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What sticks out to you about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an overlap here with guy with Civil War Battlefield. That is also
Civil War Battlefield
diorama.
Oh, diorama.
This is diorama guy.
Yeah.
Diorama guy. Yeah. You could combine those. I don't. Well, and no offense, but that reminds me of these, which I couldn't do it. Too tedious.
Okay.
Yeah,
too much time dedicated to each individual small piece.
Right. Right. I mean, maybe if they moved or something.
Like if they were actually cool,
Yeah. I just can't. I just can't.
Hey,
get
don't worry
into
though.
it.
At night when I leave this room, they come alive and jump around. So it's you can't experience it, but it happens.
I think it's also that thing when you see something and you're thinking, man, that's cool. I can get into that, which is kind of the whole point of what we're talking about here, right?
Yeah.
I've seen those trains, I've seen those rooms, and it just doesn't do it for me.
It didn't spark joy within you.
No, instead I was like, wow, you got a lot of time that you're pouring into this thing, which is the whole point, right? You got to find the thing I'm going to pour that time into.
All right. Golf. I mean, more accurately, day drinking, but golf.
Right. Okay, so golf.
You play golf, but
I like golf, and I could see myself doing that. But I do not, and I know these people, literally every day.
Yeah.
Every day, and I think, yeah, man, it's cool to hang out with your buddies and do the thing, but every day. So maybe a version of that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my Tuesday, Thursday thing.
Yeah. Maybe we got an auxiliary going.
A friend of mine
put that onto the side.
A friend of mine was with his father-in-law over like the last portion of COVID, where like places like Texas had opened up, and he was in Texas, and his father-in-law did that every single day, and he took him out a couple of times, and he's like, it's just 4 dudes who just talk about whatever it was Rush said yesterday in golf. Every day.
I mean, but that's a beautiful, simple life, there's not a lot to think about. You just go for it. You just little bit your country, state, and just hit a ball. And drink. What else is there to do in life?
Yeah.
All right. So we got golf classic. All right. Okay.
It's a bit much.
Right. All right. So we brought this up earlier. Are you a woodworking guy? Are you a guy that's going to make cabinets and tables?
I mean, not so far. I can tell you that much.
Well, does it spark anything in you? Does that make you like,
I don't.
Oof, that's something I should do.
No, I do. I've heard the kids, some of my children have made fun of me and saying that working in the yard is my hobby. Right?
Yes, true.
Right.
Landscaping.
So, and I've got a lot of it to do.
Yeah.
So the other day it occurred to me, because I was talking to your mom, and I said, I used to think that this exact topic, I used to think I don't know what I'm going to do with my time when I'm finished with work. But there's enough stuff to do around the house.
That is a defeatist attitude, though. That's a defeatist attitude. Now, okay, so, 2 things. One, I've never seen you more happy than when you're working on your yard. So,
really?
I'm not. That's a hyperbole.
Yeah. Just out there.
Our weddings were a shadow.
Of the joy.
Did you guys? You got married?
Yeah.
Not in your backyard.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. That was you imagine your entire life is preparing for a backyard wedding. Then your boys go get married in Michigan.
I know.
That being said, that it's not like something that, what's the word I'm looking for? If I had sort of this retirement thing, I would want to have something where I'm producing a thing.
Yeah.
Right? Just so that I can, even if I have to like put it on the shelf so that I could say, oh yes, a tangible physical thing.
Yeah. Created this.
Because the good thing and the bad thing about it being like working on the lawn is that is a constantly turning over thing, right? And with the seasons, like you can add 1 or 2 things, but overall that's just upkeep.
Sure.
Right? It's not a tangible impact. In some
well, I mean, the whole
instances.
reason I watch this show is not because you guys host it. It's because I'm looking for
what that is.
I'm looking for the thing. Yes, I use this as a source of ideas.
You could get back into playing guitar.
could be a guitar guy.
Take it seriously again.
I know. Yeah, I should.
Yeah.
I should do that.
Start doing coffee house shows.
Yeah, absolutely. I would
be
do
that guy.
This is Cypress Hills and the brain.
Acoustic version. Yeah.
Or you could be like, you could just do Simple Kind of Man, play that 20 times.
Yeah.
That could be my song.
yeah.
That could be the one song.
The one song that you know.
Guys have any requests? Incubus, Simple Kind of Man.
Goes for it again. Beautiful.
I don't know why I'm so like 90s brain right now. Incubus. Cypress Hill.
Yeah. That's what you think of
311.
me is because you think that was my prime. That's
Exactly.
90s.
No, your prime it's a constant ascendancy. You've been in
A thing you could become is an appreciator. So you could be like
you could become a specialist in a subject.
You could be a vinyl appreciator. You could be a film appreciator. You could become like a guy who just is really good at a specific knowing a lot about a piece of media.
Is that just self-appointed? I just claim it.
You're just
and
like,
it is now.
it's now the thing that
It's
you
like
do.
it's like the common trope of boomer dad who knows a lot about World War II, right? Like you
Right.
read a lot of World War II books, and then you get out, you gain that knowledge, and so that's like your journey is to learn all you can about a particular thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's similar to what you've talked about, right? That's you go down that path,
Yeah.
and then you realize
It's not worth it. Because
It's just
very
never worth it.
motivational.
Yeah, great.
but you could do it for something that isn't, it's not. It doesn't have to be history or politics
No,
or
I
whatever. It
gotcha.
can be like something like music that you can listen to and gain encyclopedic knowledge about, or something like that. That's an option.
I think your brother Silas feels like that's what he is. He'll come and
Yeah.
just bestow knowledge about some random music.
Yeah,
or-
he's that guy. He's that one of the things, for those that have watched the anime episode of our podcast, if you haven't, go ahead and go listen to that. Our little brother was on to talk about anime. One of the distinct things you get from Silas in that is him being like, "Oh yeah, I am the ringleader, master, and knowledge holder, right? Like I am the
of
keys,
the anime.
yes, to the kingdom, and my big thing that I give to other people is the bestowing that knowledge onto them.
He
right?
does that with music too.
Does that with music.
He
does
does.
that with anime, and so you could be that for coffee shops in the greater
Gross.
Snohomish area.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there.
You
There's,
could write a novel.
hey, there you go. Great American novel guy.
I could do that.
Great
I
American
could
novel.
Do that. Yes.
It could be called
Actually-
like They Called Me Zach.
Something that interests me,
Yeah.
and I thought about this for a while, is sound in general.
Yeah, be an
like
audiophile.
audio.
Yeah.
Audio is interesting to me.
Yeah.
So, like this, whatever you're doing over there, the magic you're doing is
Yeah,
interesting
see,
to me.
He latched onto it immediately.
I
at
did.
the start of the
I did.
episode.
You did.
That's all I've looked at. This
Yeah.
whole time. It's just the
No, I
lights.
mean,
The beautiful
it-
blinking lights.
And the cool thing about sound, oh boy, the cool thing about sound is that there's so many different directions that you can take it. You could, if you something what you wanted to do is make the perfect music setup. That's a totally different avenue. If you wanted to do sound work or design or something, that's a totally different avenue. If you wanted to,
I just think it'd be cool to go into someone's home
yeah,
or wherever, right, and engineer the sound
yeah,
to perfection. At least whatever you define it to be at the time, but to make it sound as good as possible with the equipment that's available. So
that's a fun one, and that's something that you can do.
So I want to get to the distilled core of this.
Distilling.
I could.
Hey,
I could be
there you go. You could
Yes.
you could be a brew guy. You
Don't
could be
be
a
a
guy that
brew
brews
guy.
things.
brew
Yeah.
bro.
You could be a brew bro. We got a brew bro in this room, dude.
Nice.
He's brewed brewskis in his basement.
A reformed.
Reformed.
I don't do it anymore.
He doesn't do it.
He doesn't do it
You've
anymore.
moved past
Reformed is in only very few people can drink his brews.
And appreciate them.
Yeah.
And I get to pick who.
Yeah,
Yes,
he gets
yes.
to pick who drinks his brews.
Yes. That being said, so the motivation right now for you to find this thing,
Mhm.
right? I want to get a clear idea. Is this from a place of fear? Are you are you nervous that the second you lock out of your job that you're just going to be like directionless, or are you going to
No.
fall into the void?
What?
What?
Maybe a little bit. I
what is
think
the
it's
thought?
more. I feel like what it's gonna give me the permission to take that next step.
Yeah.
right? Like if today I think the excuse is, yeah, what am I going to do? I might as well just keep on keeping on.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if you've got that thing that's there, it's like, well, I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to make
Sure.
duck.
I mean,
choice.
I imagine, when people talk to you and they're like, what are you going to do when you retire and you're at work? And you're like, I have no idea. Yeah. It's probably kind of an awkward thing.
Well, what I say is I'm going to start another business is what I say. So that's my
there
retirement
you go.
plan.
Hey, maybe you could
be entrepreneurial guy.
I'm going to be that. But that's not really retiring.
It could be audio oriented.
Yeah. It could be.
It could. There's a world in which that's possible.
Yeah. Right.
No, yeah. I mean, I get that. Yeah. It's just,
It's just
for
weird
me,
to
when
say-
I think about that, I think that's not retirement.
That's
when
that's
I
just
think,
it, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to retire so that I can work some more. It's not really.
I kind of like the idea.
So that can make,
of
more
you
money.
going to people trying to like gin up money for a business, and it's something that's revolutionizing the something industry. You're like, we're going to revolutionize the way you buy topiary, with our app, and people are like, wow, let's way overvalue this. Drop hundreds of thousands of dollars on this company, and they're like, oh, I'm selling it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
that's
dude.
how you really make it right now.
Yeah.
You
That being said-
revolutionize.
But I don't think,
Anything.
as a retiree, I don't think you can come in and say that because, they're looking for young blood that come in and
Yeah,
say
but you
that
just
kind
think
of
of all
things.
that experience and knowledge
Yeah.
you bring. That's
It's true. That
what
would
you're
be the
selling.
pitch.
That's what you're selling.
Yeah. You're selling.
Yeah,
You're selling
insider
a
information.
a industry expert. Coming in to say we're going to shake it up.
That's right.
There you go. Yeah, I learned everything there is to know, and I knew how
I
to
had
turn it
this-
on its
I
head.
had this idea early, but I didn't reveal it because I didn't want my company to profit.
We're going to change the way America eats guacamole.
Oh goodness, that cringe. Too true. That being said,
Yeah.
I mean, because when I've talked to my wife about this. In fact, we've had arguments about this. Say like if I were to win the lottery,
Yeah.
my philosophy is I would never work another day of my life. Right? Like I'm not the kind of guy that like has a pet project thing that he works on.
Yeah.
And my wife feels so strongly about this that she would say I would have to work. She would make me do a job of some sort.
Yeah,
right.
I
Like
get it.
like whether or not it's like opening
you
a
can do what like they give jobs they give to slow people. You work at Walmart. You can be Greek.
Slow people.
Come on. That being said, like having some vanity business storefront, right, where
Yeah.
it's like it's all held up by what nobody's
I
ever
agree
in it.
with
Just
Abby.
keep going.
I
But-
mean, period. But I will say
true.
in this one
True.
specific thing, because work is important, and if
Yeah.
you just stopped, I mean, that would just be the worst thing for you. If you won
Yeah.
the lottery and you're like, that's it, just gonna play
could-
some video
there's a-
games
there's-
and do my pod.
There's a lot of things you could do.
but this is work. Are you trying to diminish
No,
our
this
work
is
here,
work. I
our
agree with
job?
You could start the kind of business that like middle-aged women's second husbands start for them, so they have something to do during the day. Like a boutique. You could be like, just it's a storefront that I've never seen a single human person walk
It's
into.
open for
but
3 hours.
It's open for 3 hours. There's a store. There's a store in Hillsdale. I'm not going to say which one that is open for 4 hours, 3 days a week.
Perfect. That's the one.
And it's like
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, it's partially because rent is so cheap.
And there's just a line of people waiting for that door to open.
Every time it opens.
Yeah.
Every time it opens. people are in
Oh,
there.
I got a visitor.
Oh, yeah, the dog.
She's rolling
Listen
up.
to the podcast.
Yeah,
stuff. Or
goodness.
you could do that, or you could do like you run the foundation.
True.
Oh, there you go.
All
Yeah.
of your guys' charitable donations.
You could be basically a figurehead in a family company. Maybe we'd have to start one to make that happen, I guess.
Yeah.
But like whatever media company, whatever app company that we start, to
Chairman of the board.
to,
like
to
it.
revolutionize how America takes a bath. When we're making that happen, we could just be like, oh yeah,
It's
chairman.
called Sudsy.
What's the one thing you wish you had in the bath with you at all times? A phone.
I really love the idea of just taking a noun and saying just revolutionizing the way or like any verb.
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't know. It revolutionized the way that people long jump. It just.
It works in every instance.
Yeah.
I mean, we could bring you on, right? You could provide your expertise. You could consult. You could
I'm
be a
gonna
consultant.
You could.
Yeah.
There you go. Being a
For
consultant is a amazing racket.
It's lucrative.
Yes. Yeah. And people will just pay you way,
And you
way
don't
too
have
much
to have
money.
experience in whatever the.
Not necessarily.
Well,
It depends.
It depends. If you're, I know a lot of people who have an undergraduate degree, go out to DC to work for like Deloitte or whatever, like any of the major consulting firms, who have an undergraduate degree in like history or something, and then a major government organization will say like, hey, can somebody at Deloitte come in and we'll give them we'll give Deloitte $500,000 out of our budget for you guys to just come in and maybe make a PowerPoint about ways we can improve the efficiency of our hiring process.
They're looking for ways to spend that money.
Yeah, and so a guy who makes, like $100,000 out of college shows up and he's like, oh, here's a PowerPoint, and everybody ignores it, and then they get him $500,000 and that guy gets $100,000 a year, and it's perfect.
See, and there you go. You slide into that minimal work, right?
Yeah.
But you still get to like have ideas,
right?
And, like, regardless of whether or not they're implemented, that's no skin off your back, right?
Yeah.
You bring those in, you have those ideas, and people have to listen to you, so you get to sort of bloviate about things.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect.
It's every box checked.
Oh, another great one. Inspirational speaker.
Oh,
There you go.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm probably going to be putting in my notice when I get back.
Yeah.
Based on all these.
Yeah. Think of all the things you could be doing right now.
I know. It's amazing.
Oh, geez. You imagine just like walking into a school auditorium and saying, how's everybody doing? I can't hear you.
Your mom was telling a story. I can't remember who was at this event, but there was a motivational speaker, and she said he had just like he should not have been there.
Yeah.
He had no reason to be there. He was horrible. But he just went up and he said, I mean, look at me. I started with nothing, and now here I am, and I'm talking to all of you. And everyone's like, why are you talking to us? But he made it.
Yeah. Well, that's the
willed
thing.
it.
It's all self-confidence on public speaking like that.
Yeah.
Well, especially motivational speeches, right? And the best thing is you could literally come from the worst possible circumstances and just have the confidence to say that you've changed. That's all it takes.
That's
right?
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's American
I
story.
mean, even if you haven't really changed, right? Like those people in the audience, they don't know. It's like,
You could still have a Coke habit and be like, I had the Coke habit,
Yeah.
It was hard, but I broke through it.
Or maybe even if you didn't have difficult times, you just make those up too.
It's true.
Just whatever story you want to tell,
Yes,
right?
consequences. That being said, there's a lot of these options out here. There's a lot of things. I think one of the core questions though is why none of them have in any way sort of like grabbed you, right?
Yeah.
Is it because it's been a long time since you've had something like that, right?
It has been.
Yes, I mean,
It
in
has
a sense.
he fishes.
Yeah.
I do like to fish.
You do like to fish.
I do. Yeah.
There's
I just
a
have
thing.
commitment issues. I don't know what to tell you. I cannot commit to one of these hobbies.
Yeah, well, so it's even less so than like a monomaniacal thing where you committed to it for a short time and then move on, right? Like it's just
I mean, that's I think
short fascination.
One of your strengths is that you're not the kind of guy, and like your example actually has prevented me from giving into my darker nature sometimes, where I'm like, why not drop some cash on this thing that just to see if I'll get into it, and I'm like, no, I'm not even gonna try, right? And
so, I feel like
the thing I learned from you is to never try.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
that is
that's
beautiful.
true.
It'll serve you well.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's that's pretty typical, right? Where you'll go into someone's garage and you'll see all the different things that the hobbies they were into for a month or two, and we don't have a lot of those.
Well, the thing that always blows me away is when I go to an older gentleman's place and they've got like all of these different hobby things, and like it's all immaculately upkept, and they're also like a really like successful in whatever business they're in, and I'm like, I literally have no idea
I don't get
how
that.
this guy did this. Right? Like does he spend time with his family? I don't know, maybe not, but focus on that. So I mean, that's the thing, is like you got to make the sacrifices somewhere, and you not having that additional side hobby is not like that's a sacrifice in a way, right? Because you were focusing on other things, but that's something you can't keep up forever.
But I did do that, right? So the guitar was a thing for a long time.
Yeah.
I was into my guitar, and then I just I don't know, went through a phase where I said, okay, I'm done with that for now.
Yeah.
And even fishing, which I still fish, but I don't know. I don't know what changed. You guys, it was probably you get busy and the kids start requiring a bunch of attention, and so then you make excuses for why you got to spend extra time focusing on
other things,
making money and setting things up, and so I don't know.
It's almost, I don't know. It's almost sad in a way.
It's not sad.
No, I don't know.
No?
There's things that are way more worthwhile than making duck decoys, you know?
I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
That's it. That's what I should do.
Yeah. Hey, you could be a duck commander, dude. No, okay. Reality TV show guy. Yep. There you go.
Like
talent for reality TV show.
Oh, the talent.
Talent for reality TV show. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hi, I'm Zach Strehle, and this is me hanging out.
Tune in next week.
This is me mowing the lawn.
Mom comes out, Zach, and you're like, you know, everything. The soundtrack stops, and you're like, what? She's like, do you want something to drink? And you're like, yeah. Next week.
This is exciting.
The sweet life of Zach. Oh goodness, if only. Yeah. I don't think I could ever do that.
What?
No, it's like, I don't know. Maybe because like that weird heightened reality you'd have to live in if you were.
That's not what it is.
No, I mean
it's acting.
Yeah, I know
it's literally it's all like they have.
I know it's all planned, but like
together.
you have to like be yourself, but also like be this extra version. You know, you have to like super emphasize.
It's always on.
You've been yourself for ages. Do you think any of those guys can act worth a damn? You know, have you seen them? Like the Ice Road Trekkers aren't experts.
It's true.
The whole,
the
whole acting. They didn't go to.
It's true.
Second City.
Yeah, to make that happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, that's why I'm here. You know, talking behind a mic and not on Beverly Hills Housewives.
I guarantee you guys have a platform here. You could start a reality show right here in your town. There's plenty of
opportunities.
Oh,
plenty
are
of
you
people.
kidding me?
Yeah.
All the storylines.
Yeah.
I mean,
drama.
we could. Hey guys, we're going to the thrift store today. Let's go press some cider at the cider mill, guys. Come on. And then like I fall into the cider press, and everybody's like, "Oh, get him out!" Yeah, it's a great episode. Yeah.
I just got a call from our producers. There's a surprise for us at Bobby's. You go to Bobby's, and it's just one of those boats that you paddle.
And then there's like in the center of the lake, there's one of those trampolines that float. Yeah. That's a full episode.
Another
right
great day in Hillsdale County. And then instead of at the end, like, you know how every episode of Duck Dynasty is them praying, you know, it's us just eating at one of the terrible restaurants in town.
Hey, people in Hillsdale listen to this. You got to be careful. You know, you don't want any restaurant tourists.
All I said was that there are terrible restaurants in town.
No, you don't want to start that show. Then everybody'd want to move here.
Yeah, it's true. And then the magic would disappear.
It would, exactly.
Yeah, what really made it Hillsdale would be gone.
Yeah.
Right after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, for the sake of all of our citizens, our fellow
it's the only
Hillsdaleans,
reason you're going to pass.
We got to make that sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's not worth the money. That's all I'm going to say. It isn't worth the money. Goodness gracious, how we doing on time, brother? 44. Cool.
Do we have Patreon questions?
We do.
Good thing I reminded you.
Yes. Oh, geez. That could have been rough. Guys, thank you so much. Those patrons out there, you are the folks that allow us to do this thing.
You're the best.
You're the best. You're the greatest.
Every patron's the best guy I've ever met.
Yeah.
And gal.
Yes, yeah. Only the best people donate to this Patreon. If you're not in that select group, the elect, as it were, then I can't say anything of your soul or your future. Right? It could go any direction. That being said, we want to make a shout out to our top donators, right? Those at the very, very top. Joe Papalardo and Zach and Amber Strehle. Thank you so much.
You're welcome
for your donation. That being said, at the $10 tier, we got questions, right? People ask us questions, and then we answer those on air. And one of the nice things about that too, right, is if there's not a lot of people asking questions, so there's a really good chance that your questions, you're going to be on the episode. So in a way, really worth it for that reason.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all ready? Good to go.
I'm so ready.
We are entering in the Joe Papalardo zone once again. Joe Papalardo.
Wait, is this the new Joe Papalardo line of questioning where it's a little on the edge?
No. This is all pretty straightforward. Don't worry about it. All right, these are two great questions that I think that we could answer and Dad could also answer, depending on how present he was at the moment of our childhood. All right, so what's the worst verbal fight the two of us have ever had? Verbal argument in our experience.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think that there's only a couple real throwdowns that I remember, but most of them just involved us fighting out. Whoa. I was fighting out right there.
Yeah,
was fighting out. I was fighting out about 6 months worth of tension on a trampoline.
Well, so the next question is, what's the worst physical fight you ever have had in? And I think that's I remember a distinct one on that, and that was
It wasn't a trampoline one?
It was a trampoline fight.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was. I think we were in either middle school or early high school. I think it was middle school.
Yeah, it was like 8th grade.
Yeah, because we would do this thing. It's psychotic, where like every day after school we would go and just punch each other on the trampoline for hours on end.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed this. Did you clock this at all?
I remember this specifically.
Yeah, okay.
The fights on the trampoline.
Yeah. So we would just like,
I don't know. I didn't know that it was a daily occurrence.
It was almost daily. Like
right.
if we were out there on that trampoline, we were punching each other as we were going. It's just you're young, you've got a lot of sexual tension in your body, and you're just punching each other on the trampoline.
It's why I to this day I've lost most of the feeling in my skull.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
Like if I hit my head against something, I don't feel it.
Why? And we're saying this is due to what? Exactly?
Because of all of this fighting we were doing, just like
all the constant head trauma has just created this scar.
I would I slept in a very, very small bunk bed, if you remember, up until I graduated from college or high school. And so the amount of times I hit my head on that thing, eventually I was like,
you were
you did hit your head a lot.
Yeah. That being said, on that trampoline, we would like skirmish for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then all of a sudden it would blow up into a full scale. Somebody hit somebody's stomach, or went a little bit to the left, and then all of a sudden all of that tension would come out all at once, and we would just beat the ever-loving crap out of each other.
Stop calling me gay! Stop it!
And then I had this terrible thing where I wouldn't give up, and I would constantly, like, after Shad would choke me out, and like I'd give up, I'd pretend to give up, and I'd get up and I'd punch him again, and it would all happen.
See, here's the thing is that I always outweighed him, so he had to be a weasel.
Yeah,
I do remember. Yeah, I do remember that.
And so this blew up, and we're giving each other flying elbows, we're choking each other out, and then at the end of it all, Shad came out of it with a black eye, and I didn't. That being said, he won the fight, but in the grand scheme
right, but someone actually mentioned it, right?
Yes. We had an adult say that it looks like somebody else won the fight. Chad, it wasn't you. And so in the grand scheme, he won the battle, but I won the war, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to respect, other people's respect, right? So that's got to be
that's beautiful.
The worst.
I mean, I could still kick your ass.
I think this is, what? We started it off this way. We started the episode off like this. So I think we need to end this. You guys are going to have to just throw down. We could probably turn this into a cage.
Yeah. We're going to do a cage match? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the big thing right now for like internet personalities to do is box.
It's true.
The Paul brothers, now Jake Paul is like actually a big deal. I don't know. It's weird.
He can actually box.
He
was in WWE. Did a great job, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just saying that, maybe we get famous enough, we sell a pay-per-view.
Yeah, just us boxing each other.
Yeah.
Well, so this is the arc of the show for me.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so we get big enough to have a substantial Patreon, enough money that it would make sense that we would fight over money and break apart.
Yeah.
Got it.
So that happens. We break apart. We make two separate podcasts, break our fan base in half, and have two separate Patreons that slowly grow and double our income, right? As those grow up into those previous
This whole time
episodes.
we're just hanging.
We're hanging in between. But
Where's the reality TV show part?
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, this is a meta narrative on reality TV.
Yeah.
So this is happening, and then we culminate in finally calling each other out to physical altercation in a boxing match, right? And if we've grown to the lengths that I'm hoping we will. Right?
Yeah.
We sell out a stadium, right? Have
This is a
pay-per-view event.
Yeah.
Both may come out with a cool mill, right, off of us fighting each other in the ring. Who cares who wins? Right.
But you got to train. There's a whole montage.
Yeah,
well,
that's true. Well, I mean, how much do we? Because we're in on it with each other, right? How much do we actually need to train? Right?
I think you take off that robe, and I think it's obvious how much you train.
But how funny would it be if we both took off robes and both looked?
You're walking out. Get it all for the nookie. Walking down the frame. You get on. You just boom, beer gut. You're like, yeah.
What's your walking
Crowd just
song?
Totally silent. What? I don't know. Maybe all for the nookie, man. I don't know. I probably actually it would be if I had to pick a Limp Bizkit song, it'd probably be Rollin'.
Yeah, true.
I'd come out to Rollin'.
If I had to pick a Limp Bizkit song.
If you put a gun to my head,
If I had to, but I think I'd probably go something in the new metal direction.
Mm-hmm.
Just really bring it back.
I would do R. Kelly's "I Believe I Can Fly," and I would really take my time, whole song.
Oh, okay.
Because I want people to really appreciate both the selection and the artistry of R. Kelly, right? Because not enough people appreciate that art anymore, right?
You're right.
I don't know, for whatever reason, and so really give them an opportunity to be exposed to it.
What about you?
Wow, I have never thought.
Kiss from a Rose Seal.
I mean, obviously, that's
and you've got the music video playing in the background as you go. But
I think it'd just be more of an interpretive dance. I'd have like just an instrumental, and then I would do some sort of a.
Okay.
Yeah,
It'd actually be like a spoken word poetry. You'd have like
words.
a white guy
It's
with
just
dreads playing bongos.
My moves would be all you'd need to know.
Yes, there you go. And that way, your physical form could be accentuated in the walk up.
Exactly.
Even more ideally. They know that you at least float like a butterfly. We don't know about the stinging part, but
similar to what you were saying, I want to just give them time to really just take in the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, you're actually doing them a favor and giving them self-healing, right? Because you are giving them this sort of spiritual experience.
Right.
You know, they're watching art in front
beautiful.
of them, right? It's beautiful.
Joe Rogan is just like crying in the commentation. It's so beautiful.
This guy gets it. He gets it.
Yeah, gosh, man. That'd be a lot of fun, though.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, like we often talked about how fun it would be in college to put together a mock WWE thing.
Because it costs like $85 to rent
What?
a ring.
A ring,
Oh,
yeah.
it does?
Yeah, like an hour. It's like $80 an hour.
You got to do that.
Yeah.
Well, so the plan was, we were in a fraternity. The plan was we would do a fundraiser where all the guys would be different wrestlers on the card, and we would do, these mock wrestles.
It's a great
and
idea.
The problem is safety. Because those guys really train a lot and are very physically fit. And so
it's actually incredibly impressive what professional wrestlers do.
So it would probably be more like theatrics and like, memes, but at the same time, like we would probably hurt somebody very badly. Like there's a very good chance that somebody would break their neck.
Have you ever stepped in a ring before?
No. Are they kind of like bouncy though?
Well, they're sort of bouncy, but it's basically plywood.
Oh, great.
So it's got springs under it, so you can use it to kind of launch yourself. But when you hear someone hit the mat, it's like push. It's because it's
plywood.
They're hitting plywood.
Is there some place local that you're talking about that you can rent this?
Yeah, no, it's like a company out of I don't know. I think like it's not Detroit. It's somewhere between here and Detroit. But
they'll just come with a van.
They have a van. They bring it out. They'll set it up for you. And they're like, we'll be back in 3 hours. Like, don't use it.
Don't do anything crazy, okay? Wink, wink. Go
wink.
for it, dude. Oh man, that's the dream. I don't know. I like
backyard wrestling is the dream.
No, it's one of those things where the idea of like going out there and just like performing like some of those like gravity defying gymnastic wrestling moves on a guy. I don't know. To me, that's the greatest high.
I think we've just found my hobby. I think
okay.
Just stumbled on it. This is the thing that's giving me excitement.
All right. Okay. There you go. You could be like a Northman kind of like Viking themed wrestler. A gray haired. Gray Fox.
Right. I could tie in the ponytail.
Yeah. There you go. You got the ponytail in the back. Dude,
that guy.
This all writes itself, right? Like you got a full arc going right there. And then like, after your second match, you'd break your leg.
Well,
because you're old and brittle. like a
statistically.
You got to be like every other wrestler and just get on Quaaludes or something.
Okay. Yeah, see?
You know what you need? You need a drug habit. That's what you need. You need an addiction. You need something that's going to motivate you to do things. Like go get copper wire.
But not, You stole that joke.
I know I did steal that joke. But
that's a good joke though. But it'd be funny if you got into a drug that wasn't a normal person drug. Like you couldn't get into opiates or you couldn't get into like coke or something. You'd have to get into whippets or like.
Whippets. Yeah, that's a great. Yeah,
or like
tranquilizers.
Horse tranks.
Yeah, that's the intellectuals. Ketamine. It's the intellectuals' drug.
Or like Changa. I don't know. Just obscure hallucinogenics.
That's the thing. I think if it's
you could
natural,
be like a shaman.
Yeah,
like you could You could like just listen to all those episodes of Joe Rogan that you've listened to out of interest but never really acted on, and then act on them. Right? Be like, oh, okay.
There's a whole list.
I'm gonna be a DMT guy, right?
Right.
Like that's I'm gonna go meet the machinos.
Start with a microdose, then work your way up.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing is like the reason I don't do that is for because of society and because of responsibilities. But you're retired. Who cares? You know?
That's right. I'm done with those things.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta say though, it would actually be really awesome if I refuse to ever do this in real life, but if I were to ever actually take mushrooms and my guide, my shaman was my dad, just be like, hey son, like you keep going, sport. Yeah,
you got this.
You're gonna see a demon. Happens to everybody about 30 minutes in.
You're just gonna want to ignore him.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you have your, what are those called where you make noises at the entities?
Yeah. There's this whole thing about when you're like on a trip, there's like these mouth noises you make that apparently like have certain resonances that fight demons in the in the astral realm. You're like, you're like, oh no.
Yeah. And there are some that you should not use unless you want to kill the entity because they're so strong, stuff like that. So
you guys know a lot about this. What's happening?
I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
I've actually refused though. I've decided 100%, even if I was ever put in a position where someone pointed a gun at my head and said, you have to take mushrooms, I wouldn't do it. And the reason why is because, I actually believe that mushrooms are alive, that they have like a neural network. Because I watched this documentary. They're connected. I watched this documentary and it was like, it was supposed to be a mushroom documentary, and then halfway through it became a taking mushrooms documentary. Like every mushroom documentary. And they're like, it's actually a great intelligence, and you're going to access it by, eating this psilocybin, and you're going to expand your brain and all this stuff. And at the end of it, I thought, what? Actually, mushrooms are alive, and they do think. But the only thought they have is hate. The only thing they want is our destruction.
They're demonic entities.
I'm not going to enter that brain space because I know every person I've ever known who's done mushrooms, their whole personality is like the one time they did mushrooms. And I think it's mind control. Yeah. I think it's mind control.
You might be onto something. Do you have regular mushrooms? Do you like regular mushrooms on your pizza?
It's true. We've all accessed the neural network when we eat the mushroom pizza, dude.
I think you've already crossed over.
Yeah. We're all infected.
It's too late.
Yeah. My wife hates mushrooms. She's the only one. Survived. My wife, she hates them.
See?
There you go.
Yeah. She sees clearly.
Yeah.
She knows exactly what's happening.
We've all been infected.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. What are we doing on time? We're good? All right, cool. We'll end it with me saying the word boingus. Cut it there.